Hi everyone, we officially start the summer semester today, so I wanted to take a few minutes and kind of go through a bit more of an in-depth tour of our Blackboard shell and kind of get you set up and started with the most important information. So hopefully you've taken a look at my first announcement and the video in there. If you haven't, please make sure you read through the three announcements that are posted below this one. This one isn't posted yet. I'll post it in a minute, but if you're watching this video, then you are in the announcement. So make sure you take some time and go through the first three. The Blackboard mobile app, the student email, and Office 365. Those are posted by the college. And then my first announcement I sent out last Friday when the Blackboard shell first opened up, and hopefully you had some time to read through that announcement, but if you didn't, make sure you open it up. There's a short little intro video here and then a few important pieces of information there. So as long as you've gone through those first three announcements and now you're watching this video, you should be set and up to date with sort of what to do, what to expect, and have a little bit of a feel for the course and the Blackboard shell already. Okay, so I don't want to repeat too much from what I said from the last video. You know, when you hop in here, make sure you always check announcements first, and then all of the course content is here. Hopefully you've already gone through the module 0, getting started in student resource folder. If you haven't, that should be your #1 priority today. The module 0 and module 1, they run concurrently, meaning they run at the same time. So those are both currently active and you have due dates in both of those modules right now. So the module 0 is just here to really get you set up and ready successfully for the course. There's tons of really important information. You will not be successful in this course if you don't go through each of these activities and exercises. And Blackboard does show me what you guys do and what you skip and all of that. So, you know, make sure you're going through this stuff. And of course, please always feel free to reach out with questions, but you really don't want to skip around in here. You want to go through everything, and it will get you really set up for success in the course just generally. Okay, so that's second priority. Make sure you've gone through module 0. Now, third priority, if you've been in module 0, if you're about to go into it right now after you watch this video, you want to make sure that you get Pearson MyLab set up. So after you go through the introduction activity checklist and you read through all of these required course documents, guys, I promise you, taking the time to read through these course documents, the syllabus, the AIU slate work technology requirement policies, and the FAQ doc will save you headaches later. And it's about a 10-minute investment of your time right now. And if you don't read through them, you won't be as successful in passing the required quiz at the bottom here. And if you don't pass this quiz, you literally cannot access any of the content modules. So it's just really good information. You should all always be like informed consumers of the classes you're taking. You want to make sure you know the policies. You want to make sure you know the expectations in the course, particularly because this course is online. And we're not meeting face-to-face every week, and we can't just check in face-to-face. I mean, you can always shoot me an email, but it will just set you up for so much success, and it will be one of the best things you do for yourself. So make sure you read through all 3 of those documents, and this quiz kind of tests you on that. It does test you on all that knowledge, and you have to get a 100% on it in order to even be able to access any of the content in this class. So definitely take the time to go through those documents, and it will really help you to understand my expectations and kind of like the rules and priorities in the class and stuff like that. Okay, so setting up your technology. There's a few things in here that I talk about. Some of it doesn't apply to you. Like, we don't use Edpuzzle in the summer semester, so you know, you don't have to worry about that. But Pearson MyLab, you want to set this up as soon as possible. So there's a video in here that shows you how to do that. You're going to set it up straight from Blackboard. Watch the video. I know it says stats on here, but the process is exactly the same for any of the courses that I teach. And so if you watch this video, it will show you exactly what to do in order to set Pearson up. And when you go to set that up, if you already have a Pearson MyLab account from another course, you can just log in using that information. If you don't, you'll make a brand new account. I recommend using your CT State email address when you do this. And then you do have a choice, so you will have to purchase access for at least as long as the course is, right? So it's going to give you different options. Like you can purchase 16-week access or 25-week access. I can't remember off the top of my head. But there is an option where if you don't have the money to purchase the access code right now, you can get 2 weeks of free access. And then as long as you buy full access within those first 2 weeks, you will not lose any of your work or the time that you put into completing your homework. And all of your homework and quizzes are on Pearson MyLab. So if you don't have an account and you cannot access it, you basically are going to fail this course because all of the homework and quizzes are on there. So, it is required for the course. And like I said, if you don't have the money right this very second, you can use the 2-week free access option. You just have to make sure at some point within those 2 weeks you purchase full access so you don't lose all of your work in progress. Okay, so that's really good to know, and you want to make sure that's priority number 3, getting that set up. So beyond that, once you've gone through this, make sure you write an introduction. Introduce us to you. I see some of you have already started. That's awesome. I feel like building community is especially important in an online class because you're not seeing people face to face, and you, especially in a summer class where the pace is just so quick. So once you've gone through this module 0, you should have a really good idea of, my expectations, the rules, the policies in this course. You can start and you've passed that quiz that I called it a course policy quiz. You've passed that quiz, then you will have access to module 1. Now notice I always put the due dates in right here in the title of the module, so you know exactly when you have due dates. And basically the way these modules work is I've split every module into 2 halves, okay? So you have due dates on Wednesday for the first half and due dates on Saturday for the second half. Because this is an accelerated summer course, it's basically like taking a full semester's worth of stuff and doing it in half the time. So what I would do as one module during a full semester, I now do as half a module during the summer semester. So you're basically doing double the workload per week. And so to try and really make that manageable for you, I've split the week up into those 2 due dates so things don't start to snowball. Because once they snowball in a summer course, I find it really becomes very difficult to catch up. It's just so fast. So I actually have to get out of student preview mode. Okay, so when I open up this module, you can see everything falls down. And in order to work through a module, you have to go through everything in order. So I cannot just, this is module 0. In order to work through a content module, I cannot just go into the quiz and take it. Blackboard will not let me. I have to first go through the introduction, activity checklist, and guided notes. And I highly recommend you print out those guided notes so that you have them for during the lectures and you try some of the examples on there. But the guided notes pull out the big ideas from every from every module A and module B. So like I said, I split the modules up into halves. So the first half with your Wednesday due dates, I call module 1A. The second half I call module 1B, and then module 2A and module 2B. So for every module A or B, there are guided notes, and they go along with the lecture and the activity and the activities and the homework and all of that. So I recommend printing those out. They're down here. But this activity checklist is really important because it tells you exactly what you need to have done by end of the day Wednesday. Some of this stuff is just, kind of reminders like, hey, make sure you watch the lecture videos because you can't be successful without that. Make sure you're completing the guided notes. And then some of it is actual stuff you have to go into Pearson and do that you will be graded on. So the homework assignments, and then you have a mastery quiz in every single one, module A and B. So every week you have several homework assignments and 2 mastery quizzes, one for the first half of the week and first half of the module, and one for the second half of the week and second half of the module. Okay, you will not be successful with those quizzes if you don't actively engage in the lecture videos, take notes, and do the homework. Those quizzes you get one shot at, okay? So you have 45 minutes to take the quiz, which is plenty of time because they're pretty short. But when you take those mastery quizzes, so I'm going to jump down here. You guys won't be able to jump around like I am. I'm in teacher mode. When you're in student mode, you have to go in order of the module. So when I take that mastery quiz right here, okay, you'll notice in the directions for the quiz, it says you have to use the Pearson Lockdown browser. And so that's something you're going to have to download. You can only download it on a computer. So you need to make sure you're on a computer, never on a phone when you're doing this stuff. And there's a little tutorial if you're not sure what to do. But what that will do is it will lock your computer so that you cannot get into anything else while you are taking this quiz. Because any quiz, any assessment, any outside resources are strictly prohibited. I'm just going to tell you guys, if you know, I suspect any use of AI or anything like that, I will absolutely contact you right away. I will ask to meet about it. There are definitely some red flags that I've come to know very well. And so if, you know, I might ask you to meet about it, talk to me about your process. And if I do find that you're using AI or other resources, that's just an automatic fail for the class. So please, 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 if you plan to use AI for my course, in any sort of prohibited capacity, please just don't take the course. You know, it's just not worth it. The point of this course is to learn and to use your brain and to think critically and problem solve. And you're just not going to do that if you're just asking AI for the answers. And so I would just very kindly ask that, you know, please, again, read through this module 0 right here, the required course documents. I have some requirements and policies when it comes to AI. They're very explicitly outlined in that document, how you can use it and how you can't use it, but it is 100% you cannot use it when you are taking an assessment. So if you have any questions about how it can be used, how it can't be used, please reach out to me via email so I can clear that up and sort of help get you on track with that, okay? I think there are a lot of great use cases for AI, but using it to solve problems for you, particularly on quizzes and homework, is just not helpful, and it's not going to help you progress through the course. And it's kind of a waste of your money, because why would you take a course if you didn't actually want to learn? I'm not sure. So I'm here to help you if you have issues. If you have problems, you don't understand the material, reach out to me, your human professor, because I would be just so more than happy to talk you through it, or to meet with you virtually, or to recommend resources that can help you. The reason we use Pearson is because there's a ton of excellent help resources just right within the homework assignments themselves. There's a little button on the bottom left little help options where you can view an example, or it will walk you through the problem step by step, or it will give you a similar problem, or it will give you a video that you can look at. And so, like, just take advantage of the resources at your fingertips that will help you to learn and think critically and problem solve and get all of those skills that we want you to get out of the course, to actually get them. So that's my little blurb about AI. But if you ever have any questions about how you can and cannot use it, please let me know. Okay, so for every module, right, like I said, it's split into halves, A and B, okay, and A and B flow the exact same way. You'll have an introduction that kind of tells you what the main themes and concepts for the module are, an activity checklist that lists what's due. I already kind of talked to you about that, and then the guided notes. Then you'll come on down to the lessons, and when you click into it and open, there will be some directions that also link the readings for that module, that part of the module, and then there will be all of the lecture videos that either myself or my husband, actually, he makes an appearance in a handful of videos throughout the semester, or sometimes Khan Academy. I really only used Khan Academy for 1A because it's all just review stuff that hopefully you kind of came in knowing or kind of knowing, but the rest of the lecture videos are 95% me, and maybe one or two of my husband, who also teaches math at Tungus Community College. There. And some of them are just extra, and I kind of mark it like, hey, if you need more examples, watch this one, but if you feel good, you don't have to watch it. So, but the videos will always come after the readings, and then once you're done with your lessons, you can move into the homework. Blackboard will let you move into here, and those are all linked out to Pearson. Sometimes you'll have 3, sometimes 2, sometimes, you know, it really depends on what we're covering. And then every module ends with a quiz. And so in the quiz folder, there's a description of the quiz directions. You know, it reminds you about the lockdown browser. It tells you what you can and cannot use on a quiz and all of that. So you can read through the directions, and then you link out to the quiz. And once you start it, it's going to put you immediately in lockdown mode. So make sure you're on a computer. And so all of that is the first half of the week, and that would be due Wednesday. And then the second half of the week, you'll move into module 1B, and the flow is exactly the same. It's the introduction activity checklist and guided notes, the lessons, the homework, the quiz. Okay, so and that remains consistent for every single module. So the modules are split into two, A and B. Okay, A flows the same as B. You always have guided notes, readings, homework, quiz. And that's what it will look like in every single module except for the last one. The last one is a review for the final exam, which you are required to come onto campus and take. It is on Friday, July 17th from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. There are no exceptions to that. So you have to come to that or you automatically fail the course. And if you fail the final exam, you fail the course. So just make sure you know that going in. And if you know you're not going to be able to make that happen, I just recommend withdrawing from the course and taking it a different semester. If you know, like you have summer plans or something that's going to conflict with this, because if you reach out to me and say, hey, can I please take this a different day or can I take it online? I'm going to tell you no. So this is an absolutely required component of this course. It is the only time we will meet in person, but I think it's really great that after working with you guys throughout the first 6 weeks of the summer, I'll then get to actually see you and meet you, and I think that's kind of a cool part. But the exam will be on ground on paper, okay? So again, just another reason to make sure that you're keeping up with the course and actually learning the material. Okay, so that is my Blackboard sort of tour, more in-depth tour. If you have any questions as you go through things and get set up, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to me. I am always here and always happy to help, and I'm thrilled that you're in this course. Intermediate Algebra is so much fun, and I truly hope that you wind up enjoying it. And I look forward to seeing you guys online and then in person on July 17th. All right. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this. New modules. So I only release one module at a time. So right now you only have access to module 0 and module 1. The next module, module 2, will release on Sunday, June 14th. So modules run Sunday to Saturday, okay? And you have those Wednesday and Saturday due dates. So you'll always get an announcement from me on Sunday, and a new module will release every Sunday, okay? So just keep that in mind. Again, you won't have access to any of these modules until you pass that quiz in module 0. So make sure make sure you've done that. All right, now this is really it. Thank you, and I look forward to working with you guys throughout the semester.